Everybody, welcome back to another crypto madness. Boy, oh boy, we're getting a little bit of movement on ETH today, even the Bitcoin being down a little bit. So, going to be exciting to see that. I am expecting more from the Trump administration around crypto. I think we're probably going to get that coming up at some stage. Going to be a lot of fun. Now, we're going to be talking about crypto, Pulsechain, TitanX, Uranus, Shogun, Volt, and X1. So we're going to talk about that. Pretty cool today. Hope you guys enjoy the content. We got Wookie in the house there. Uranus is on the move. Rockets, yeah, absolutely. Uranus there, taking off. Slow start, but a big move over the last 24 hours. So nice to see that, particularly last 2 hours actually. We got Hexa Titan, Pulsechain. Nice, that's a nice mixture there. Let's go, absolutely. Like the green circle there. And yeah, big shout out from the channel, of course. I'm only streaming on Hex Token at the moment, not on all three channels, but we'll get back up to all three channels soon. That'll be cool. So without further ado, let's get into it. Let me just check out on the other screen here. So we're going to go into the mix here. So at the moment, we got Bitcoin at $95,931, down 0.4%. Bitcoin dominance at 58.47%. So pretty similar numbers that we've seen recently, right? Is where Bitcoin dominance is sitting at. Ethereum there at the moment up 3%. So good day in the office for Ethereum, which is a good thing for TitanX, right? So it's on Ethereum. $2,747 up 3%. Everything else is almost down except for ADA. ADA there is up 4.8% at 81 cents. So those are the two big green ones there. Solana down pretty heavy, 5.8% at $177.75. BNB down almost 1%, $668. XRP down 2.6% at $2.66. Tron there is down 1.6% at just below 24 cents. And Litecoin down 2.7% at $122. SU is down 1.8% at $3.22. So those are your leaders, folks. So pretty red day except for ADA and Ethereum. And of course, we really care about Ethereum making the move so we can get altcoin season on play, right? So not too bad. We're seeing a bit of green shoots there too. Now looking at Bitcoin chart there on the hourly, you can see it's still quite volatile, getting little recoveries. You know what we came down, what we're sitting around about 97K, came down on the hourly down to about 95, went back up to 96.4. Now sitting at 95,855. But let's go to the daily candles. Check out that on the old Bitcoin, and let's reset the normalizations, auto fit, and that's where we are at the moment. So we're just hanging around the 50-day moving average. That's the yellow line for Bitcoin, and this is on Coinbase. The 200-day moving average still moving up, almost 85,000 exactly on the 200-day moving average. So pretty bullish, and we've still got this golden cross playing out, and I'm feeling pretty good. Now, we haven't normally February, of course, is super green. We've still got quite a bit of time to go for February. So all we need is some little breakout to the upside, and we're back on track for a green February, which is we typically have. And of course, as you guys know, we are expecting quite a bit of money from institutions and stuff coming in the second quarter, regardless. So still expecting pretty good ending to February into March. Now, that being said, you know, the Trump administration is doing a lot of stuff around tariffs, reciprocal tariffs, of course, and doing a lot of stuff around foreign policy, which we've been covering on the show in our global political episodes that we've been doing the last couple of days. So let's move on to Ethereum, because that's kind of the green stuff today. And of course, that's the hourly there. Look at that. We were all the way down at $2,600, had a nice pump in the hourly up to $2,849. That got sold off, went all the way back down to 2,686. Then we went back up to 2,776. Now we're at 2,774. So quite a bit of volatility there on Ethereum, but movement to the upside though, right? Movement to the upside. And let's have a look at the daily, and we'll reset that too. We had a death cross, right? So we got this death cross, boo, the death crosses, and that's been around for a couple of days, but we're hoping it's going to be short-lived, right? Hoping it's going to be short-lived. So we are getting a little bit of an upside here. We did seem to bottom out at 2,555, so $2,550, and we're now at 2,745, trying to make a move to the upside. Bring it on, is all we can say. Now that's going to move us on to Pulsechain, Pulse Gains, because Richard's been out there posting. I wish Satoshi sent me a Bitcoin postcard, Vitalik, have you considered sending Ethereum email? And of course, here it is, hex postcards, right? Direct mail with these little cards, which are actually really useful. So there's definitely something worth thinking about. Now, if you're on X or some platform that allows you these type of cards, fantastic way for promoting Richard Hart projects, but also other projects that you really love, that you could promote those too on X, just in a little card format. It's kind of neat. People can quickly read that. Obviously, you need to adjust it for the format, but yeah, looking pretty good there. So nice little promotion there from Richard with the direct marketing, which he's a big fan of. I'm a big fan of it too. Right, that moves us on to Pulsechain, day 247, 647. So we're pretty much at the end of the day. And we got the results there for Pulse at quadruple 0457, up almost 0.85%, sitting at 46% of the mean sacrifice price. So still huge upside for Pulse in the future. PulseX at quadruple 0373, up 4.5%. Buy and burn is at 1.27 trillion. 6.41% of PulseX is now being bought up and burned. INC is, or incentive token, is at $2.52. The ratio is 55,183, and that is down 0.6% there. The supply is 55 million, but we're not expecting that to grow very much. Why? Because the inflation was cut by 20x, right? So 5% of what it used to be. Hex now is at 1.38 cents on Pulsechain, up 2%. EHEX is at 3800th of a penny. Combined price of EX and PX is at 1.76, so 1 3/4 pennies there on the old Hex. And man, when Hex goes, it's going to go. We know recently some of the moves, what Richard Hart's done, right? He's given us the trifecta stablecoin, USDC, USD Tether, and DAI. He's paired those up together for a nice yield of 11%. And of course, he's also that can attract capital to that. Also has thinned out the incentive farm, PulseX, by about 40% or so in the liquidity pools with the incentive inflation reduction of 20x. And therefore, that makes it easier to pump to the upside and downside based on Hart's law and moving at a square based on the V2 pools. And of course, we've also seen Pump.Tires launch as well, helping to accelerate burning, increasing volume on PulseX and increasing the, but not Pulse and PulseX burn. So major moves there, as well as adding that meme sensation to it. So that's kind of where we are there at the moment. So yeah, that's some of the highlights. Let's get into it. So we could see those are opening salvos for pumpamentals on Pulsechain. The gas prices at the moment, 863,000 beats. So we've come down. Nice to see that. We're at one penny for a PulseX swap now. I think it was 5 cents yesterday. It's a signal of a more valuable chain, and that's just the way it goes. So we're getting those early signs of that big run that everyone's looking for. 46,304 active validators at the moment. That's looking a little bit higher than it was yesterday. And finally, the bridge here, 124.6 million. We're up a lot, baby. Yeah, we're up about $5 million on the volume there on the bridge based on my memory yesterday. So that's a really good sign on Pulsechain bridge there. Very cool to see that. And obviously with a bit of a lift there with, Ethereum and of course, EHEX there as well, probably. So not too bad. Now, I just want to have a quick look at the stable coins. Because at the moment we've got the native stablecoins on Pulsechain, and I got a little blues clues here. We're going to talk about that with PUSD ALGO. So we got USDL, $7.4 million worth of that. PXDC, $1.32 million, and HEXDC, 672,000. Coast is 8.3 million, right? So USDL, PXDC, and HEXDC are all liquidity forks, and they are backed by PulseX and Hex respectively as collateral. And so that gives you an idea of how much stables there are on Pulsechain at the moment. And of course, Coast is backed by Fiat. So it's a different system altogether. And that's 8.3 million, right? So these are two parts of the trilemma, stablecoin trilemma, but not the scalability part. And that's where PUSD ALGO is going to come in. And guess what's down the bottom of this page? PUSD ALGO, algorithmic extra coin algo, announced but not yet live. Yeah, baby, yeah. And I posted that in the PUSD ALGO Telegram yesterday and got a big thumbs up from Jacob and many other people in the chat there. Nice little thing. I don't know how long it's been sitting there. May have been sitting there for a while, but it's pretty cool. And as you guys know, this is the third part of the trilemma, stablecoin trilemma, helps solve the scalability aspect. So very cool to see that. So these other ones give you collateral and security. This one here gives you scalability. So looking forward to that coming to market. So a little teaser there. Now moving on to the rest of the Pulsechain, $35 million in 24-hour volume. So that's pretty similar to yesterday from memory. 315,000 transactions, pretty similar as well from yesterday. Let's have a look at some of the top movers. Now, a lot of these, of course, have come from the Pump.Tires platform where they're launching a lot of those meme coins. And, of course, a very speculative market. Now, we do have some of the ones that have been around longer than that. So I think Pump.Tires has been around for about 2 weeks, 15 days here or so. But we've got other ones been around. Neon is up 21% at 1100 of a penny. What else is looking interesting here? Yeah, so looks like Pump.Tires has been around for about 15 days. You can see all these tokens here that were launched on there. So you just have to separate those out. Now, PTC the Greys, they're up 11%. Teddy Bear up 11%. Pump.Tires, which is the main token for that platform. I guess it's official, but I don't know. You guys decide. But it's up 10% at the moment at 1.7 cents. And then, of course, the other big one that was on there at launch day 15 hours ago was Most Wanted, up at 7.8 cents, is up 8%. So let's look at that Most Wanted one for Richard Hart. And let's see where that chart's looking like now. Now, very speculative, right? Yeah, it seems to have come off the bottom there at 6.7 cents. Now back at 7.8 cents up the last 2 days after having a bit of a sell-off there. And, of course, the volatility at the beginning, pretty massive, right? And the other one, of course, we looked at was Pump.Tires. These kind of seem like the two main ones. I'm not sure if they're the best performers overall, but definitely more probable they'll stay up in value relative to a lot of the other tokens because everyone's launching tokens non-stop on there. So we're at 1.2 cents at the moment. 1.3 pennies now on Pump.Tires. So it looks pretty similar to the Most Wanted one as well, doesn't it? And there are a couple others that have been around for 15 days that are dominating the top performers at the moment. Hex, Die, and Peppy, all copies, right? So copies are copies. So that's the way it goes. So those are the top performers. We do have some nice honorable mentions, though. We've got A1A here, up 8%. That's been around for over a year, 9-inch. Of course, the third biggest DEX on Pulsechain, excluding PH Universe. I need to go back and have a look at their protocols, see how they're performing at the moment. Have been on there for a long time. My bad, as we say, my bad. Up 8% on 9-inch at the moment. So it's the DEX. And as you guys know, PUSD ALGO is not only going to be a stablecoin solution, but have a V3 DEX as well. And it could compete very much for the second spot behind Pulsechain in front of 9mm. So we could have the ultimate DeFi stablecoin and a big V3 DEX there, also integrated potentially into all the GameFi that Jacob's looking to launch as well. So with the Game Mafia and stuff. So that's kind of the leader there. We've also got Teddy Bear up 7%. P Maker there. So if you're in P Maker theory, that's definitely going up again. $8.90, up 6% there as well. So we've definitely got some movers and shakers going on Pulsechain at the moment. That brings me into PUSD ALGO. So let's have a look at that. If you guys haven't checked it out, you can get a 90% referral. The link's in the video description and on the banner at the bottom here. And of course, that is pretty easy to do. Now, it is a sacrifice, but really it's a contribution because it's been around for over a year and things are starting to move again. So we've got the Signum Oracle coming to Pulsechain. That is going to be the first operational Oracle that is expected to come out this week. So I put a message in Telegram for Signum Oracle. They said that it is essentially they're working on it. Then another reply to someone else was that they're looking to get it up this week. So fingers crossed, we'll keep you abreast of that. That is critical infrastructure for Pulsechain. We don't have an Oracle, and that is coming, right? Liquid Loans was supposed to deliver us one, but they didn't. But now Signum is looking to bring that to the market. And so we're looking forward to that. Now, that's going to be crucial for a lot of Jacob protocols and for a lot of the devs coming to Pulsechain, and particularly for PUSD ALGO. So you need price calls, non-price calls, random number generated tools and things like that. So this is going to be really, really exciting to see that. So if you want to participate, get a 90% bonus. Links in the video description. I've got plenty of videos. Just look up PUSD ALGO on the Hex token site there. You'll find those. And yeah, you can either use tokens on Ethereum or Pulsechain. Any of these ones are accepted. Just send them to this address here. And if you do around about $840 plus the incentive, the 90% referral bonus, that will get you to over 1,000. And what does that do? Opens up the second bonus, right? Which we call bonus X, and that's up to 2x times multiplier. That's a random number, but you could get up to 2x times more. That's going to give you a lot more of these tokens over right here. ALGO, Flex, and Wrap PUSD. So pretty exciting there. So once again, it's got the community coming to play. Now, the big difference here is I call it a contribution is because up to 75% of the funds will be used to set up the liquidity pools. And that's very different from all the other projects, right? The second thing, of course, is that after the Signum Oracle comes out, Jacob will be seeing that it's running as expected. If it's running as expected, he's going to give us updated plans for PUSD ALGO. And I'm hoping it's sooner than later. I really do see this as his flagship project, and that's even in front of Mafia, which is a huge game that he's building out. But yeah, really excited about where this will go. So check that out. Links in the video description for that 90% bonus. All right, so that's pretty much our coverage of the crypto markets and Pulsechain. We're going to get into, of course, TitanX and X1 is next coming up there. We're going to be covering Uranus, of course, which just launched over a day ago. Shogun, Vault, some of the really big ones here. So that's our next move. But let's get to some of the comments there. Property View says, enjoy your political videos on top of your crypto topics. You seem knowledgeable. Do you have a background in economics? I have a background in a lot of those topics. So yeah, it probably is the play. All right. So we've got Hexcrater in house there. Hey, gang. Good to see Hexcrater. Big crushing out there. Good news for Hexcrater. He's going to be so busy in the United States building infrastructure under President Trump. He's going to love that. That's going to be so good. He's going to want to have a holiday in Australia or New Zealand or somewhere after that. We got Wookie in house there. Yeah, boy. Good to see you, Wookie. Hope you're doing well. And we got Diamond Hands with the eyes just sneaking around the corner there. Good to see you, Diamond Hands here. All right, so let's get into it without further ado. Let me pull up the next section. So let's do that. And of course, I'm going to start off a little bit different with the section on TitanX because we're going to start off with Uranus. You got it, Uranus there. So let me just pull this up properly. We just have a look at that. So let's go check this out. You're going to love this, boy. So I did cover Uranus the last couple of days, both pre-launch and post-launch. I gave a full summary post-launch yesterday. That was about 7 hours after it launched. And here is the chart today. Look at that. What the hell happened? Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs? Something. So the chart went ballistic. Had a pretty lackluster start. The contracts launched well, but of course the issue was around the reflection tax, and that Uniswap really couldn't take more than a 20% slippage. So if you're trying to do 22% and it says 20%, it's not going to work very well for you. So that's kind of where it is at the moment. Now you can trade this on 1 inch, I believe. You can trade it on Uniswap, I believe. You can trade it on CowSwap. And this is on base chain. Remember, this is not on Ethereum, not on Pulsechain. This is on base chain, and you need X28 to do that, right? So you can buy X28 on base chain, or you can buy it on over on Ethereum, or you can use the X28 DApp to get X28. So you can transform it from TitanX. Now I think the market value is the best at the moment. Last time I checked, so you're going to have to check up to see which is the best rate. So it's probably still better to buy it on the market, but we're going to check that while we're doing the live stream. So we'll take all those questions out of hand there. So that is Uranus there, still climbing. It's early days. I really just a bit of momentum in this thing will still really keep rocketing. It's up almost 83% over the last 24 hours. As you can see, had a pretty slow start. This is the hourly chart. Pretty slow start. You had a few people a bit upset about the taxes and the launch, and so they sold out. You can see that at the beginning. And then it sort of creeped out there. A couple of hours later, someone else sold out, and then it just slowly creeped up from there. Look at that, just kept creeping up, and now you can see some volume coming in. Now, funnily enough, just as we're doing the live stream, we get a little bit of a sell coming in here, $800. So $800 created that little red blip there. So just remember the liquidity is 86K. So something like $800 can move it, like 1% or something. So just remember that. So, but every time someone's selling, that's 12%. In taxes, right? So 10% for the reflection and 2% for the tax. So let's just quickly go through the results over the last hour, day, and 7 hours, and we can see them here. I've summarized them. So the buy, sell, transfer tax is 12%. So if you like PDC the Grays on Pulsechain, which is one of the best performers over there, then this is an opportunity for that. If you like Shogun, Element 280, this has all got that kind of some of those tokenomics, but it really has pulled in the buy and burn and the transfer taxes and things like that. So that's it's kind of supercharged. Now the protocol tax is 2%. Now 1% of that goes to the 1% of that goes to the buy and burn. I think 0.5% goes to the liquidity pool, and then 0.5% goes to the Genesis wallet. Right. So that's the breakdown of that 2% tax. Then 10% is the holder reflections. That goes back to you as the holder. So if you're holding the token, just like PDC the Grays, they have 5% tax, right? So this is 12%. But 5% here goes back to the holders, so it's a lot more aggressive, and it's over on base chain. So that's the play there. This is the first project for TitanX /X28 Omni chain. So it's the first project over on base chain. Typically, of course, TitanX lives on Ethereum, so it's the first one moving to Omnichain there. And that is the taxes. So that gives you pretty aggressive taxes. We're going to look at that in a minute. Now, starting supply, minted supply. They had 8 days where you minted out the supply of Uranus. That was 554 billion. TitanX or X28 went into the contract, and therefore it was a 1-to-1 issuance. So we had 554 billion Uranus. So there we go, 1-to-1. That is the minted supply. But of course, 42% was going to go into the LP protocol. So they had to mint 232 billion Uranus to match the 232 billion X28 that they're going to use for LPs. The total supply, therefore, of Uranus was 786 billion. That's our starting supply, but that supply is already going down, folks. So we're going to look at that. Current buy and burn, of course, has been on the low burner. They've got on the low burn at the moment, just preserving that capital and letting the market take its opportunity. And at the moment, we've got 10 billion that has been buy and burn. 10 billion already. It's crazy. It's only a day and 7 hours, and we've already burned 10 billion of that 786 billion. Yeah, catch on to this. It's pretty dynamic. And all you need is a little bit of consistent volume going through that contract on base chain. Imagine if it got picked up, OMG. Imagine if the market picks it up. And of course, you can see that green chart there may very well attract all the people. So we'll still see. Still early days, but it could get pretty crazy. Now, what does that mean? Current total supply. So we take that total supply, 786, take the 10 billion off it. We're at 776 billion approximately with the total supply. So that's in 1 day and 7 hours. That's quite the burn, right? That's quite the burn. So this is going to be pretty interesting to see how this operates in the next weeks ahead. So maybe PDC the Greys did spectacular. Maybe this is going to do super spectacular as well. Yeah, it could be pretty exciting here. And of course, a good project launching first on Omnichain is a good sign for that vision, right, of Jake Sharp. So let's see how it goes. Now, we've got the reflections at 11.4 billion already in a day and 7 hours. Can you believe it? 11.4 billion. Remember, total supply is 786, and a lot of that's in LP. Now, what does that equate to? 2% volume return in a day and 7 hours. 2% volume return in a day and 7 hours. Now, let's go back to the chart and see where that volume's come from. Well, it came from some sellers that got a bit scary-eyed at the beginning because of the tax not being readjusted. But once the tax was readjusted, the market got confidence and started moving back up. Then we just got some buy volume about 3 hours ago, and we had a bit more volume in the last 2 hours. And now we've got a nice little green upward chart, and that's what we like to see, right? So that is pretty cool. So 2% volume return in a day and 7 hours, pretty awesome. Plus the price return, the price is up 75% at the moment. That is pretty awesome, right? So that's kind of where we're at the moment. And let's go protocol stats. Well, market cap 325K, liquidity at 85K. So yesterday we had a market cap of after 7 hours, we had a market cap of 190. We're now at 325. And we had liquidity of about 61K yesterday. We're at 85 liquidity now, so it's going up. And the volume there, $10,000, 24 hours. So we're going to be watching this over the next few days and weeks and see how this grows, right? So that's what we'll be looking for. The faster it grows, the more taxes that are coming in, the faster the buy and burn operates, the faster the reflections go up. So that's what we're watching for, right? So lots of metrics to keep abreast of there. Now, what else we're going to say? I just want to have a look at the number of holders that are in here at the moment. Yesterday we had 220. Today we got 229. So we picked up 9 holders since the top there. And looking at these top wallets and the top holders, we've got the LP wallet at the top. We've got actually, let me just double check that. Actually, I think we've changed. No, we've switched around. So the V3, is it V2? V2. No, V3. V2. Yeah, V2 because it's got taxes, right? V2 pool is switched. These are flipped overnight. So now we've got the LP wallet, which has got 120 billion, is now the number one wallet, 15.4%. The second biggest wallet has flipped. It's come below here, and that's because people have been buying it up in the chart, right? Buying up the volume. And so the amount of the LP wallet V2 pool has gone down to 103. So that's now come into second place overnight, 13.2%. So already some adjusted there. Then we've got some whole ton of whales, right? Whole ton of whales in here, all the way down to 1%. That gives us 21 less 2. That's 19 whales that are sitting in the system out of this 229 now. But we got 9 more holders, so it's starting to spread out, diversify in the holder class. And you want to see this go up. The holders go up, right? You want to see the holders go up. You want to see the volume go up. and therefore price will go up over time, right? And especially if you've got quite a holding mentality community, presumably the dude does have kind of investor type people as opposed to ROI dumpers, then this could hold up pretty nicely. You could see something like a PDGC chart occurring here on base chain. So those are some of the highlights. Let's get in the chat. We've got any more comments about that? We've got Brian in the house. Hey, Brian. What's up, folks? Good to see you, Brian, our community leader in the house. And a Hedgehog is sidekick there. Woo-hoo! Excited as well. Love that picture too. Hedgehog there with the crazy green hair. All right, so that is where we are at the moment on Uranus, doing very well indeed. And, of course, looking pretty good there. So if you want to get hold of that chart, of course, here is the chart. And you can pick up some while you can. Just sit on it, hold that, and get those beautiful reflections. There we go. Obviously, do your own due diligence. Nothing's investment advice, and it's on base chain. You can use a MetaMask wallet or Ravi wallet. You just switch over to base chain. You can bridge over Ethereum from Ethereum to base chain just using the bridge inside those wallets. I know that they're pretty easy to use, and you can either buy X28 on Ethereum and bridge it over on X28 app using layer 0, or you can just buy it on base chain and use that to buy the Uranus token. That's kind of how easy it is, really. All right, let's see what else. I think that's it on that one. That's my coverage of Uranus. Now, the next one we're going to coverage is Ouroboros. As you guys know, I've been covering this the last couple of days since it launched. Let's quickly go down to we're on X Titan Hubs. This is where the TitanX ecosystem protocols are. So let's scroll down to the Ouroboros down at number 35. So we've talked about Uranus at number 34. That's the second to last one launched. It got a beautiful yield. And we're going to talk about USDX, the stablecoin, and the Ouroboros protocol. And that's been around for about 5 days. I think it is about 5 days. And we're going to look at the liquidity, actually. How much is the liquidity in there? OMG. Are you kidding me? Wow. Are you kidding me? Oh, my goodness. So we're going to, oh, wow. Okay, let's go talk about that, I think. That's worth talking about. That's dramatic change. My goodness, that's dramatic. All right, we're going to go talk about that. Yeah, I'm going to get the contract and go do that. So system stats here. Let's have a look at the collateral. Collateral at we're up here 1.6 million. Wow. What a big jump overnight. That's fantastic for Ouroboros. So we're sitting just below 1.1 million. We're now at 1.6 million. Woohoo! That's a $500,000 jump. That's a 33% something jump there overnight. So that's a great jump there. And the debt issuance is 679K. Very, very cool. Now, as you guys know, that's fantastic news there. So that's really good to see that. The backstop pool statistics is down to 68, so it's coming down. That's actually pretty much around Super Shadows. He's the founder. His percentage there at 70%. So that's pretty cool. The overall aggregate health ratio is 233%. Not too bad as well. Pretty standard, actually, I think, given other liquidity forks I've seen. Now, the total collateral in there, wow, that's jumped massive. 3.21 trillion TitanX. OMG. Where did that come from? Wow. So we were sitting at 2.4 yesterday, and we've jumped to 3.2. So that's 800 billion TitanX that's jumped in there overnight. That's fantastic. And oh man, DragonX too. DragonX has gone from I'm just trying to remember now. Was it about 140? So it's gone. Looks like it's gone up about 50 billion. That's just off the top of my head. So that's up a massive too. Fantastic. Isn't that great? Now let's go look at the USDX staking. You know, once you collateralize, you can go to the US Minter here. You can use DragonX or TitanX there and open up a loan, right? And then you can get USDX. So let's go and have a look. Once you get USDX, you can go and spend that as well on the USDX pairs, or you can go and stake it. So the stake yield at the moment still very high, 866%. So people can go in and do that. So I don't know how long it's going to hold up for, but that is pretty spectacular. So yeah, they start off what is it? But day 2 it was sitting about 2,200%. It's now 866. So still very spectacular. You can also go and participate in the Titan Farms pools, right? So let's quickly go have a look at that. So man, we've had some real excitement overnight. It's so good to commentate on stuff that's really had a big night. So pretty cool. Let's have a look at that. And this is with Ethereum down at 2,700. So yeah. Oh wow, look at that. Oh, that's changed a lot. So we were sitting down. I remember it was at like 600%, went to 300%, and today it's down at 90%. So yeah, that's crazy. And they also controlled 96% of the LP as well, from the looks of it. So that's pretty impressive. Wow. 0.0168 tink a day, or per second, sorry. So that's pretty crazy, right? So there's only one tink per second, I think that's right, in the farms. And so, wow, that's crazy. That's crazy there. Man, that is pretty awesome. So there we are, USDC, USDX. And I think that's the pair, right? That's the trading pair, is USDC, USDX. Let's go have a look for that too. So we're going to go to Ouroboros and have a look down. I think we've got the contracts here. We're going to go to USDX stable, copy that in. And I think I've already got it loaded, but we're going to have a quick look at that over at TitanX. I'm pretty sure I have that in there. USDX, USDC, yeah. So let's go have a look at that, because that's jumped massive. And we knew it was going to happen, right? We knew it was going to happen, and that the LP was going to be jumped here. Now, just ignore that there. That's the price. The peg was at $1.05. It's supposed to be at $1, right? So it's just come back down to $1 basically. Dollar is right here, so it's just slightly below that at the moment. But that's kind of what we expect to see. Now, big volume came in here. Look at that, $303,000. Pretty crazy. There on the daily. Let's go to the 4 hourly. It kind of gives a better looking chart. There's a 4 hourly there on that. Now, the big move though, liquidity. OMG, it's gone massive. It was up at like 50K. It's now at 450K in liquidity now. So we did know it was going to get ramped up by Ouroboros, Super Shady. I think they played a role in that, and that's now at 450K. So what does that mean? It means bigger players can come in, right? Buy and sell. And this is USDX and USDC on Ethereum, right? This is on Ethereum. So that's pretty impressive there. And what's the volume's been? 304K volume. That's a real big lift in volume there. We don't have the volume on this chart, unfortunately. So we've had 74K buys, 230K sells. And that's kind of where we are on the chart so far, and it's been around for over 4 days there. What else are we going to say about that? We've got 156,000 USDX pulled in here. So this is USDX. That 156,000 could be inside, could pull stake in here in USDX, or it could go to Titan Farms. Titan Farms, it could go in via USDX. So this is probably what's happened. Probably it's gone in through this pool here on the Titan Farms from the Ouroboros team, and gone into the pool here. That's probably what's happened there. I haven't asked, you see, so I'm just interpreting there. And so USDX 294K on that as well. That is the other side of the ledger. And of course, this is in a V3 pool as well. So there we go. Now, no doubt, presuming that it's all a full spread on that the Ouroboros stuff. So I guess that's where it's at the moment. So this is really cool. This is upscaling the whole thing, right? Upscaling the whole place. Bigger players can come in, and therefore they can start filling up, start taking loans and, participating in these farms and liquidity pools and, staking, and also maybe potentially swapping for USDC and buying, maybe swapping into Ethereum, buying some more TitanX. And Dragon X and rinse and repeat, right? Start leveraging and borrowing more loans again, and this circular motion, right? For the big players is particularly good as well. So that's kind of where we are there at the moment, going pretty awesome. There's anything else I want to talk about? Liquidations. I don't know if there's been any more of those. We've got some big loans in there though, 22K, 150, and so on. So yeah, I'm not sure how many liquidations. Does it say how many liquidations? Don't know if it does. I don't know if there's a history actually. Is there a history on this? No, I don't see one. But yeah, that is in there. Positions below 110% in normal operation and 150% in recovery mode can be liquidated. But you can see this one's quite safe at 150% at the moment. All right, now redemptions will be activated at some stage. I'm not sure when that is, but that is going to be turned on at some stage. I think for Power City it was for PXDC. I think it was like 6 weeks. So it could be something like that. I don't know. We'll see. I'm not sure if anyone's in the chat there knows about that. Hey, we've got Hexation says rocket bags, absolutely. And Walkie says the best time to take out a loan is at the bottom of the market. That is true. That is true. All right, let's move on from that. So those are the two big new launches. We've just talked about that pretty in full, I think. Uranus and USDX. Very excited about that. Now let's look at the rest of the market for TitanX. We've got TitanX at the moment up 13.5%. And so everyone will be pretty pleased about that. We are trying to find the bottom and move up for third wave, right? Everyone's looking for that third wave of TitanX. And of course, let's have a look at this chart. So we had, let me draw it in. We had wave one, right? Wave one here. That was like almost a 10x, almost a 10x. Then we had wave two. Oh, I've got the wrong one there. I've got to get a little chart. We had wave two, and that was like an 83% decrease, right? So a sell-off in value. And we've already found, let's put it there. We've already found that we kind of got this bottom, right? Kind of got this bottom, and we are trying to bounce off this bottom, right? So we tested it again 2 days ago. We were down at 6 zeros, 3,000. We're now at 6 zeros, 3,500. Still to break out, right? We really need to break out over 4,200. That's going to be a very key level, right? That level there, 4,200. We're kind of looking to zigzag our way back up for the third wave. And anyone that follows Elliott waves, that's pretty much even more stronger than the first wave. So let's see how that goes. Now, what are the fundamentals to do that? Well, obviously people are looking at TA in the charts, but also the fact that volumes have sort of pitted out there, and that gives a good sign, can give a good sign of a run. But of course, there is a beautiful roadmap in place. X28 has just gone omni-chain. Uranus is the first project to launch on omni-chain, on base chain, and it's doing pretty well, up 76%. That's what you want to see. You want to see that. You want to go strong onto a new chain as you go omni-chain. And remember, X28 is the omni-chain version of TitanX, and it has a beautiful mechanism as well. All the TitanX that goes into X28, 50% of TitanX gets burned, and then the other 50% goes into the buy and burn from X28 and then burns X28. So it's a beautiful setup, And when this runs, it's going to be absolutely glorious, I'm sure. So pretty exciting there. Now, the ratio on the market is 96 to 1 in the market. So therefore, it's probably better to buy off the market with TitanX because it's not 1-to-1, right? So if we actually go to the protocol itself will tell us, it will say at the transform, if you want to transform TitanX, not off market, basically through this platform, it is a -3%. So you're better to buy off the market. So you're better to buy your TitanX, your X28 off the market with TitanX rather than transform it. That's basically the idea there. Now, if it flips the other way, which it used to be like 3% positive, you'd come through the transform and instead. See how that works? And like I said, 50% of the buy and burn goes into here. And of course, there's the stats here. So there's about just under 2.4 billion X28. So this is basically TitanX, right? X28, but this is the omni-chain version. In other words, it can go over the bridge. So if you're wanting to bridge over X28, you can do that here to connect your wallet up. It will go from Ethereum to base, and it will switch over there. Now, it'll only take about a minute. So you'll see it processing. Take about a minute to do that. I think it is something like that. And then it will show up in your wallet over on base chain. So pretty easy. So that is that. Now let's have a look at the total TitanX supply. So we've got 2.4 billion in X28. We're now at 98.357 trillion TitanX. But what is it broken into? The circulating supply, 65.8 trillion is liquid, 8 trillion is staked. That's pretty strong now. I don't think that number's going to move much anymore. And the BOT there is at 24.5 trillion. So that's where we are at the moment. And that staked amount is pretty much dominated by DragonX and Helios. So probably the most of that there. Now, BOT protocols, 24.5 trillion, and that's gone up as Uranus has launched pretty much. So that's kind of where we are there. So yep, that's pretty cool. And yeah, so that is what's happening with the market there. We're going to jump over to the rest of the market. So we've got Shogun up 14% at the moment, DragonX up 20%, and importantly, the ratio is at 7 again. So remember, went down about 6.7 yesterday, back at 7 TitanX per 1 DragonX, and that's up 20%, benefiting from TitanX going up and, of course, DragonX ratio going up, right? That gives us a higher return of 20%. Not bad. Now, Hyper and Hydra, I told you the minting's essentially out for these two. These are both leverages, right? So Hyper leverage on Ethereum, Hydra leverage on DragonX, and yeah, so this is pretty awesome. And Ethereum TitanX and Hyper and DragonX, Hydra on DragonX, and they're both 15%, 70%. And I think we're going to see something special from these two now that minting's out. The buy and burn on Hydra's been turned down. If that gets turned back on, we're going to see some real acceleration here, and everything runs away. And of course, the DragonX buy and burn's not on at the moment. So once they turn all these dials on, and they'll do it at the right time, what they think is the right time, potentially when they're launching other stuff, and all these things are going to start going, man. They're going to still start going, and I think that's going to be pretty exciting. Now, I'm not actually expecting much activity from the V1 on TitanX, so I'm not expecting much there. And I also think that they're probably working on Tink as well to get the Tink price going. If you raise the Tink price, then you also get a lot of money going into the pools, and that thickens everything up and gets activity going. So we could get this Titan farms really starting to rally. At the moment, it's at 8 cents. So keep a lookout for that. That's going to be something to see. So there's lots of dials to turn on and accelerate. So I'm loving that. And we don't see that in other cryptos. This is the only ecosystem like it, right? This is pretty unique in crypto. At the frontier of DeFi 2.0, and got some DeFi 3.0 projects leading the tokenomics there too. Now, some of the other stuff we got is Morpheus, man, up 53%. How about that? Smashing it. And Flux is up 44%. So doing pretty amazing there. Morpheus, of course, got the V3 DEX out there. Probably going to be going over to Base and Pulsechain is my guess. And of course, that's my guess there, of course. And we got, let's have a look. I'm going to scroll down here. Matrix up 36%. So we're getting some nice movements now. And Tink Farms up 13% at 8.2 cents. Keep a lookout for that. And Viper up 20%. Turbo up 15% as part of the Vault ecosystem. Yeah, what else? I was going to talk about something else there. Where'd it go? Someone is missing something there. So that's kind of where we are. Now I want to go to Vault. Vault's up 13%. And this is about to have a big roadmap launch, right? So Vault's got obviously Ouroboros is coming for collateral. That's going to be a big boost to the Vault. It's got Thunder Vaulting staking coming as well. And then it's also going to have Bitcoin Genie and then more utilities in 2025. And of course, Bitcoin Genie, as you guys know, I'm a hyper fan of. Haven't seen the white paper yet, but just some of the features and just Stevie D's excitement. I'm pretty excited about that too. So Bitcoin Genie is coming to market, so going to be pretty fun to see that. And then the other one is Taurus, right, from Cryptographics, expecting to see some excitement there too. So that should be pretty cool. Who else has jumped in the chat here? So let's have a look at that. We got Check My Pulse in the house there. What's shaking, Superman and Hexkins? Good to see you, Check My Pulse. And we got Wookie is on some winners today. Says Wookie, nice one. Great to see. Everyone likes to win there. So that is kind of some of the excitement stuff coming. Let's see. Anything else I was going to talk about in particular? Yeah, we're going to quickly look at the Vault burn. Let's have a look at that. A Vault burn at the moment is burning about 800 a day. I haven't measured it for a few days, but that's typically what it was doing last time. We're down at 580 million tokens, and you got all these protocols coming. Man, this thing is going to do well at some stage. It's really going to just take off. Very bullish about Vault. That's going to be exciting to see. So we're getting some really good little turning points here in the TitanX ecosystem, and it's just early days there. So let's keep a lookout for that. Some good stuff happening there as well. And now we've got a big stable coin with big liquidity in the protocol, a TitanX ecosystem under Ouroboros. So USDX, USDC. Now I just wanted to copy USDX and quickly look at for that. So let's have a look and see if there's any other peers. So we've got 449K in USDX, USDC. We've got a V3 pool. We've got 50K in this USDX, USDC pool here. And then we got $4,000 in a USDX wrapped ETH. Someone set this up independently, I think. So those are the pools we got running at the moment. Interesting, two V3 pools there. So I'm not sure who set the other one. I think that's it. I don't think that's the original one yesterday. So that is where we are at the moment on USDC and Ouroboros. So pretty cool. So we're almost at 20,000 users on TitanX, 19,820 users, and the system volume back over 1 million, which is nice to see, almost 1.2 mil. And not bad at all. System market cap 77 mil, and total TitanX burned 126 trillion with a T. Pretty cool. Upcoming events: Uranus, of course, we've discovered that X28 bridge that's opened already, and the XDX launch is pretty much, I think, for the most part finished. Not quite. I think they've got a few little things to do, maybe like redemptions, and maybe they've got some other things up their sleeve. But that is where we are at the moment. So pretty cool. Massive day. So highlights, Ouroboros up $500,000 collateral. That's a big deal. And, overall the markets are going green for the most of the projects. And we're also Uranus there making mad gains off a very, very slow start and back up 77% and early days on that one. So it's going to be fun to see that play out. So that's pretty cool. Now, X1, I want to talk about X1. X1 is coming. Of course, that's Jack Levin, the vampire. The vampire. He is coming with X1. That's getting closer and closer and closer. So keep your eyes on that. Don't shade it just because people fud it because he's the vampire. You're just looking for value opportunities in crypto, right? Just remember that. And so how can you get involved with that? Obviously, Zen blocks. You can mine those. It's a little bit stuff. I got a video on here on the channel if you want to watch that. Zen blocks, you can start mining. And I still think it's pretty good to mine there, even after the halvening. And number 2, picking up Zen on Ethereum, Pulsechain, PZen on Pulsechain, Optimism chain, something like that. Pick up some of those. You'll be able to burn those through the burn parties and get XN coin, the main coin for X1 coming up. What else you got going in there? You can become a validator at the moment. So it's the final test net. Become a validator and get ready for the main net. You're going to get multiply bonuses doing that. So it's going to be massive. And remember, X1 is going to be the first fork of Solana, but it's going to have all the bells and whistles on it, and it won't be shutting down like Solana. So it's going to be pretty crazy. I think it's going to be pretty valuable. And who knows what he's got up his sleeve with Silicon Valley meetings that he's had and other things like that. So that's X1. Keep a lookout on that. Now, if you want to find out more details, join our strategy club. The link is in the video description. Only $35 a month. Really good value. We're passing a lot of intel in there virtually every day. Sometimes we've got a ton of stuff going through there. So join up the strategy club. Link is in the video description for that. We got before we wrap up, we've got Check My Pulse. Says, do these things benefit Pulsex or Pulsex? No, they're completely different ecosystem. Check My Pulse different. And if you're in strategy club, we cover multiple chains, multi-chain stuff there. And I already covered all those ones at the beginning. So you might want to rewind there, check My Pulse, and check out our Pulsechain coverage. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Yeah, exciting times, man. We're at the frontier of a lot of crypto stuff across X1 chain, across TitanX with its hyperinflation tokenomics, and Pulsechain with its Richard Hart fundamentals. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Just hold on, get your position strong. Yeah, let's see what happens moving forward. I think we're going to have a great year. Probably in 2026 could be pretty good as well. Now we're going to keep a lookout. The only thing I'm concerned about, obviously, is the stock market and potentially retail personal debt in the US. That could be some of the only things I can think of that are a little bit shaky. Let's hope we get some world peace and all that sort of stuff, and we can really enjoy this crypto run moving ahead in 25, 26. All right, hope you enjoyed that. Catch me in Discord, links in the video description. And if you want to get that PUSD ALGO 90% bonus, I'll be giving an update later this week, likely on that when Signum Oracle launches, coming to Pulsechain. That's huge. Yeah, get hold of that and start winning. All right, take care. Bye for now.